Hello all and welcome to Talk GCSE, where I talk about GCSE core subjects and A-level economics. So let's talk about this trade protectionism. What is it? Now, it is when a government uses policies to restrict imports and protect domestic industries from foreign competition. Instead of allowing completely free trade, governments intervene. Now, let's have a look. Governments intervene to support their own businesses. For example, after Brexit, the UK introduced more control over imports, including checking regulations to protect domestic markets. So overall, protectionism is about limiting foreign competition to support the domestic economy. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the types of them, the reasons for them, the advantages and disadvantages of them. So now let's have a look at the types of protectionism you need to know. Now, the first one is tariffs. These are taxes on imports. For example, in the UK, it places a tariff on imported steel. Foreign steel becomes more expensive, making UK-produced steel more competitive. The second one is quotas. It limits the quantity of imports. For example, UK could limit how much foreign agriculture produce, like dairy, can be imported to support British farmers. Third, we do subsidies. Now, financial support given to domestic farms. For example, the UK government has historically subsidised farmers to keep food production competitive. And finally, talking about import bans. Now, completely restricting certain goods, like banning imports that don't meet UK safety and environmental standards. All of these basically reduce foreign competition in different ways. Now we look at the reasons for protectionism. So why do government use protectionism? One key reason is protecting local jobs. For example, supporting the UK steel industry helps preserve jobs in the region like South Wales. Another reason is supporting infant industries, new and developing industries that need to grow or they need time to grow. For example, UK might support emerging green energy farms to compete globally in the future. Now, national security is also very important. For example, maintaining domestic food production or energy supplies, reducing reliance on other countries. For example, if we rely on other countries for most of our food, that's not a good thing. And finally, we want to also reduce a trade deficit where imports exceeds exports. So by limiting imports, the UK can try to reduce the gap between what it buys and sells internationally. Now let's talk about the advantages of protectionism. There are several advantages to protectionism. It helps domestic firms compete. For example, tariffs on imported agricultural goods can make British produce more attractive to consumers. It helps employment, especially in industries facing strong foreign competition. Say, for example, protecting manufacturing jobs that might otherwise be lost to cheaper imports. It also encourages local production, meaning more goods are produced within the UK, and this can support economic growth as domestic farms expand and hire more workers. So in the short term, protectionism can actually strengthen domestic economy. And the slide, I forgot to take you to the next slide. Basically, this is the advantages slide, but I have basically done the voiceover before. So you can stop the video and write down these points. Now I'm going to talk about the disadvantages. Now, as much as protectionism is good, it has its significant drawbacks. First is higher prices for consumers. For example, tariffs on imported food can make everyday groceries more expensive in the UK. Then secondly, there's less competition. Now, without foreign competition, domestic farms may become inefficient and less innovative. Thirdly, the risk of trade wars. If the UK imposes tariffs, other countries may respond with their own, reducing exports. So finally, it's just reduced global efficiency. Free trade allows countries to specialize, but protectionism disrupts it, leading to less efficient resource allocation worldwide. So while protectionism has its benefits, it can also create long-term economic problems. Now, if you have found this useful, don't forget to give me a follow, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you find all the content on my page useful.